About this. So I'm reading that it's rare, but it has been found in recreational waters at several Western national parks.
Yeah, it's a very rare disease actually, but we've completed about a 7-year study looking at recreational waters in national parks here in the West. Um, and about 34% of the springs that we tested and the recreational waters that we tested have this brain-eating amoeba in it, Naegleria fowleri.
I mean, what do people need to know about it? Should they just stay out of the water? I mean, we're talking about very well visited, very popular places: Lake Mead, Grand Teton, Yellowstone. So, what should people know?
So basically, the amoeba, the only way for it to get into your body is through your nose, through your nasal cavities. And so if you keep your head out of the water, you shouldn't have any problems. If you hold your nose, if you go underwater, same thing. And actually, Naegleria fowleri is found all over the country, particularly in the South, in swimming water, even in tap water. And so it's an extremely rare disease. We were just trying to characterize where it's found and do kind of a long-term study to see if it's changing locations.
And
But I still swim in hot springs. I swim, just keep your head up.
okay, just keep your head up. I mean, that's a good way to end the week. Keep your head up, you know.
Keep your head up.
um, but so are we thinking then that it is shifting where you've seen it in those 7 years, or you've seen it fairly concentrated?
So we haven't seen it really shift much in the 7 years. The shifting that seems to be happening is in the fatal cases. It appears over the last 20 years or so, there's more fatal cases moving to the north and the west. And so that is sort of what we've seen, but that's not really the focus of this particular study that we just finished.
A local woman could have died after a venomous ant stung her.
So scary. It's an invasive species in Georgia, posing a growing risk to people, especially during the spring and summer months. Channel 2's Tom Regan spoke with a woman in North Fulton County about her ordeal and her warning for others.
This is the stinging bug we're talking about, Asian needle ants. They're very small, and you can see they have a stinger on back. They thrive in wooded areas just like this, and they're a lot more dangerous than they appear to be.
Asian needle ants, highly venomous. First discovered in Georgia back in the 1930s, and in that time, they've stung a lot of people.
I couldn't lift my body. I lost all movement of my body.
Melissa Hairston was relaxing by her pool Memorial Day 2 years ago when she felt several painful stings on her shoulder. Lightheaded, she went inside.
By the time I got to my bathroom, I was in trouble. I had lost all movement of my muscles. I was trying to stand up. I kept falling down. Short of breath, heart racing, just in and out of consciousness.
I didn't know exactly what was going on, but the blood-curdling scream let me know that it wasn't normal.
When EMS got here, my blood pressure was 60/40, and I had broken ribs, a concussion. Just from falling, I was dying. They told me if they hadn't came when they did, I would have died.
Melissa fully recovered. Suspicious that her illness may have been caused by an insect, she asked her exterminator to collect some ants that were near her hot tub.
Sent it to UGA, entomology department, and that's when we found out it was an Asian needle ant that stung me.
The ant is tiny little 3/16 of an inch thing, and you're working in the garden, you get stung, and 10 minutes later, you're in distress and you wind up in the hospital.
Since the stinging attack, Melissa and her husband have had the exterminator drop by more often. They don't want anyone to go through what they experienced.
We can now be aware, and we can tell our story to others so that they can be aware and hopefully prevent this from happening to someone else.
Entomologists say the Asian needle population is growing here in Georgia, increasing the threat against people and native ant populations. In North Fulton County, Alpharetta, Tom Regan.
Unfortunately, I think this is a pest that's here to stay.
Dr. Soren Rodning is talking about the Asian longhorn tick.
An adult Asian longhorn tick is going to be much smaller than other adult ticks that would be more commonly found in Alabama, the size of about a pea.
The tiny tick had never been in Alabama until now. 3 weeks ago, it was pulled off a stray dog in DeKalb County.
It was first confirmed in New Jersey in 2017, and it's slowly made its way down the eastern seaboard, and it's finally made it to us.
Its arrival is more like an unwelcome invasion.
Female ticks can essentially clone themselves and lay 1,000 to 2,000 eggs at a time.
With other types of ticks in this area, we worry about problems like Rocky Mountain spotted fever. What are the risks associated with this type of tick?
One is just the fact that they can establish such a large population. Blood loss can potentially become a concern for animals or for people potentially. But there's also the risk of disease transmission.
Symptoms like lethargy, fever, loss of appetite, even anemia in animals could be signs of a harmful invasion.
Can also transmit a disease in cattle called Theileriosis, which we have not previously dealt with in the United States up until the past 5 years or so.
The USDA says the disease can cause severe illness, reduced milk production, and loss of calves in utero. There's not a cure for Theileriosis, nor a method to eradicate these ticks. But Dr. Rodning says there is no need to panic.
Thankfully, a lot of the tick preventatives that we commonly use in livestock or in pets are effective against Asian longhorn ticks.
He urges owners of both pets and livestock to up their vigilance. And if you're not already, get on flea and tick medicine. And should you find what looks like an Asian longhorn tick,
putting it either in a jar or a Ziploc bag with some 70% rubbing alcohol, take it to their local veterinarian, or they could even call our state veterinarian's office directly if they'd like to.
And that was Lauren Layton. New Orleans pest control officials expressed concerns after mosquitoes in the city test positive for the West Nile virus.
Parker Boyd shows us the city's response and what you can do to stay safe.
The New Orleans Mosquito, Termite, and Rodent Control Board urges people in the city to stay alert. It detected West Nile virus in a group of mosquitoes during its routine surveillance collection this week.
It is circulating in the mosquito population.
Research entomologist Mark Janowecki walked us through the process. The team collects the mosquitoes, puts them under the microscope, then lets the science speak for itself.
We run them in the machine here. It lights up this color based off of a fluorescent marker that we have. This red line here is for West Nile virus. At this point, knowing that there's one or many is not going to make a difference. We're going to react to that positive mosquito.
Board director Claudia Regal says helicopters will spray for mosquitoes Friday morning in neighborhoods like Hollygrove, Uptown, Audubon, Broadmoor, and the Garden District. She says these sprays will focus on the southern house mosquito, the species most responsible for spreading West Nile.
West Nile virus is a bird mosquito disease. We just happen to be in the way, so that mosquito can bite us, and then some of the people will get symptoms.
The Centers for Disease Control says Louisiana reported 72 human West Nile virus cases in 2025.
It's dangerous.
Shirley Jacque says the risk is something everyone should take seriously. She says she knows someone who the virus affected.
They were sick for quite a long time. Affects your everyday living, your life. But yeah, it's stuff that you have to be aware of.
The board says there have been no confirmed human cases in New Orleans yet this year. Regal recommends people wear insect repellent and long-sleeve clothing, and that you dump any standing water around your home at least once a week.
We've had so much rain, right? So every container is full. It's really important that maybe on garbage day that you just walk around your house and make sure that all containers are turned over.
Jacque says it's a lesson she hopes others don't have to learn the hard way. In New Orleans, Parker Boyd, Fox 8 Local First.
According to World Health Organization, mosquitoes cause an estimated 700,000 deaths worldwide every year. Now, a Google-linked project wants to release 32 million mosquitoes in the United States in an effort to curb their numbers and help stop the spread of disease. Our next story explains the science behind it and the outrage that it is causing.
They kill more humans than sharks, snakes, lions, and crocodiles combined. Every year, mosquitoes spread deadly diseases to millions across the world. They are among the smallest creatures on Earth, yet they are responsible for more human deaths than any other animal. For decades, governments have spent billions trying to control them. Sprays, traps, and pesticides have all been used, but the battle has never truly been won. Now, scientists want to try something very different. A company called Verily, owned by Google's parent company Alphabet, is seeking approval from U.S. Environmental Protection Agency to release up to 32 million specially bred mosquitoes across parts of California and Florida over the next 2 years. The proposal has ignited a fierce debate. At the center of the plan are male mosquitoes infected with a naturally occurring bacterium known as Wolbachia. The males do not bite people, but when they mate with wild female mosquitoes, the eggs fail to develop properly. Over time, mosquito populations can shrink dramatically.
Mosquito é método natural.
It's a natural, self-sustaining method because once we implement it, we don't need to come back to it. And it's safe because Wolbachia doesn't spread to humans. It won't cause illness in humans, and won't cause any problems for the environment or for other animals.
The idea may sound like science fiction, but it has already been tested. The Google-backed firm had already released 1 million sterile mosquitoes in California in 2017. Another trial conducted by a British company, Oxitec, was deemed a success in 2022. Supporters say the method could become a powerful weapon against mosquito-borne illnesses, but critics remain unconvinced. The proposal has triggered concern among some environmental groups. Tennessee Republican Representative Tim Burchett is questioning the move, warning against interfering with nature. For supporters, the project represents a breakthrough in the fight against one of humanity's deadliest enemies. For critics, it is a giant experiment unfolding in the real world, and as the debate intensifies, millions of mosquitoes have become the center of a battle over science, safety, and public trust. Bureau Report, We Own World is One.
This morning, concern among cattle farmers now that a case of New World screwworm has been detected in the U.S. The Agriculture Department confirming a calf in South Texas is infected with the parasitic fly, which can kill livestock if not treated.
This pest does not cause any sort of a food safety issue. It is not a disease, but simply an insect that feeds on living tissues. Animals treated early enough will recover and are safe to enter the food supply system.
The news comes just days after Secretary Rollins dismissed a local lawmaker's warning that screwworm was detected in Mexico, just a mile from the U.S. border.
The screwworms are very aggressive. They kind of hook themselves into live tissue, and it can be very, very destructive.
The parasitic flies were eradicated from the U.S. back in the 1960s. A human case was confirmed in an international traveler last year. That person recovered.
This is something that sounds very scary, but the threat to humans, especially people in the United States, is very, very low at this time. People who are at a higher risk are individuals who hang around livestock.
But one major concern is the beef industry, which is already struggling. Beef prices are up 13% in the last year. One factor, fewer cattle. The U.S. cattle herd is at a 75-year low because of extreme weather, high feed costs, and industry consolidation. The screwworm could make matters worse.
Since cattle are much bigger and much slower to reproduce, it takes many years to fix the problem.
In response, the government is ramping up efforts to release sterile flies and will quarantine the area in Texas where the infected calf was found.